Good evening, everybody. This is Toby Brand with Fuel Your Faith Now. I am podcasting in from Westminster, Colorado with two of my really amazing new friends. One of them I have been building a relationship through social media over the last, how many years?
6 years.
6 years. His name is Ross Aubrey. He's got an amazing story, and his beautiful wife is here with him today that I have got to meet for the first time as well. And her name is Bethany Aubrey, and they're, I guess you guys are somewhat newlyweds, right?
Yes, yeah, we're newlyweds.
Anyway, so we're going to be talking on this podcast about faith, the meaning, what faith means to me, what faith means to Bethany, what faith means to Ross, and how it really has affected all three of our lives. And this is a part of the reason what brought us together here today, because we've been building this friendship over social media, and I have been with Ross, and then I finally get to meet Bethany today, and just they're such beautiful souls. I'm so excited about their marriage and their relationship, and really developing this friendship with them, and our passion for faith and how we apply it to our life. And all three of us want to share some things about faith today that all of you guys can take away from and learn. And we really hope this inspires you. And we know, and we have faith that it will inspire some of you, and some of you will walk away probably from this podcast questioning your own faith. And that's a good thing. Keep questioning and keep looking inside, because it all comes from the inside. So with that being said, I'm going to start with Ross. Did I say you guys were from Atlanta, Georgia? Because that's where they're from. Did I say that?
I don't know if you did or not.
Okay.
But it is true.
They're in town from Atlanta, Georgia, and they've done some beautiful experiences since they've been here over the weekend. And Bethany used to live here, but what did you guys do while you're here?
Yeah, so yesterday we actually went to Pikes Peak, which was pretty outstanding. The drive up was, there's no other words for it other than outstanding and awesome. And I was telling you this earlier, and I told Bethany yesterday, I was just in awe of God as creator and his creation, seeing these massive mountains, and I've never seen anything like this before. And so we hit up Pikes Peak, and then this morning we went to Red Rocks, and she worked out, and I kind of...
One of my favorite places.
Yes. And she worked out, and we saw tons of people there, hundreds of people doing, different types of workouts at Red Rocks, and I did a little bit of something. I didn't really break a sweat or anything, but anyway, so we hit up Red Rocks, and we've hit up some good food, and it's been a time of rest.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think, another thing, everybody, is we all have like this cool different story. We all have these 3 different careers, but I really think everything's kind of tied together. We can learn from everybody no matter what they do. And I want you to share a little bit of your story. You're in the fitness industry, you're a leader, you're a Christ follower, you have this strong faith, and you're like a fitness entrepreneur. Like, you are all about taking it all to a new level, mindset, body. But tell us a little bit about like your story, like what you were telling me earlier when we were sitting in the lobby over there on the couch about your weight issue, your addiction, your like just all the things you were doing so unhealthy, and like how did you first, what is your meaning of faith, and how did that help you overcome what you're about to share with everybody?
Yeah. For me, the definition of faith is believing in something bigger than myself to propel me forward in life. And for me specifically, as you noted, I'm a Christ follower, and that's my belief that Christ is in fact who he said he is, and that my identity ultimately is rooted in him. And so start there, but with my story, I grew up having not ever met my father. My mom remarried when I was young, and so I call stepdad dad. They remarried when I was about 5 or 6 or so. Mm-hmm. And growing up, faith was not something that we ever really spoke of. We went to church, but it was a very religious activity. It was the way that I viewed it. It was kind of like earning brownie points. Like this, you have to be a quote unquote good person, whatever that means. And so through the years, I ended up experiencing a lot of different hardships. I think that we all do to a certain degree, but abuse from my father, watching my father abuse my mother, and then when I got to college at the age of 17, I was really at one of my rock bottoms, addicted to drugs and sex and pornography, fast food. I gained a ton of weight. I was addicted to cigarettes.
50 pounds, right? That's what you told me earlier.
50 pounds.
Wow.
And I was suicidal. I ended up being hospitalized in 2003, 2004, 2005 for suicide attempts. And I really was, in 2005 with the third and final one, something clicked there. And I'd say that that's when my faith began to grow. I had a couple girls that took me to a local church, and they said that their mission, that this is the church I'm speaking of, the mission of the church was to lead people into a growing relationship with Christ. Now, I had never heard of that before, having a relationship with Christ or with God or anything like that. All I knew is that if you want to be a good person, you go to church on Sundays. And that was kind of the extent of it. So, so things began there as far as my faith is concerned. But I say where they radically changed was in 2009. I had a serious motorcycle accident at the Road Atlanta racetrack, major brain damage, couldn't walk for months, and I asked my friend to buy me a Bible, and for the first time in my life, I was starting to hear God speak to me, and in a way that was unique and almost tough for me to put words to. And
I think when it comes to deep faith, like sometimes it's beyond our five senses, it's beyond our words.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that said, I was full in. I went to ministry school, graduated from ministry school. I started this business called Higher Purpose Fitness, which I've been doing for the past...
I love that. Higher Purpose.
Yes, Higher Purpose.
Cool.
Yeah, the past 6+ years. And I'll tell you that one of the biggest areas where I started to use my faith actively was when I was let go from my job. I said, God, if I'm not supposed to be in fitness, fine. What is it that you would have me do with my life? Who is it that you would have me become in my life? And I'll do whatever that is. And 7 days later, that name Higher Purpose Fitness jumped out on a piece of paper for me. And 5 weeks after that, I started the business. And at that point, I had $200,000 in debt. I had no money to start this business. I put my equipment on a credit card.
Oh, wow.
And
that's some faith right there.
And since then, it's been crazy. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, I've made more in a day than I thought I would ever make in a month. I've made more in a month than I ever thought I would make in a year. I've hit these places where I never even imagined that I would experience this kind of God seeing me through in my finances specifically I'm talking about. But that's been one of the biggest areas with stepping out and starting Higher Purpose Fitness and seeing him bless that and grow that and help me to have great impact and great influence, increasingly great impact, increasingly great influence over the years.
I bet you've transferred a lot of faith into your clients as well, just because of how you really operate from faith and that level of consciousness, faith consciousness. Like, I bet you have really transformed and built some amazing relationships, because I believe our faith really determines our relationships and our connections with people we help. And as a business owner myself, my faith has really personally helped me with deep connections with friendships and stuff like that. Every time that deepens, it connects me to people. So you've probably done that, right?
100%. Yeah. Just being who I am, it leads to people that have beliefs of all sorts having incredible conversations, and both of us, as a result, getting to grow as individuals and sometimes in faith. That has been the end result of conversations I've had with clients where they go, wow, looking at your faith in God, for me specifically, has really grown my faith in God, and it's given me, I feel like it's given me a chance to trust God more.
Faith is, I think there's just this confidence and trust that sometimes my faith has nothing to do with anybody else besides with my confidence in knowing that I know. Because I think if my faith depends on other people, then I don't have much faith. And I mean that from the most loving, respectful way. But my faith is so big; it's tied to the bigger picture beyond some of the words that I can even share. It's just a knowing, it's a certainty, and it's a trusting the process and releasing and letting go and surrendering and taking those actions. Yeah. And actions build faith too. It's just everything really comes down to our actions. Do you believe that?
100%.
So, like, if you could tell somebody right now out there, because there's probably people listening to this that would love to lose 50 pounds or whatever, what would you tell them as far as, or if they have obviously you're addicted to fast food, you're probably a comfort eater or whatever, so you were really like kind of lacked the faith, you were having all these issues and you're really self-medicating your way with these things. What would you tell them? What kind of seed would you plant with them right now about faith and them wanting to like overcome and get healthier, these issues and that they're trying to overcome and release these unhealthy habits?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and I'm actually going to go off of something that you said a few seconds ago, and it's been the most powerful thing I've ever experienced for growing my faith, and it's taking action.
Taking action, yeah.
No matter how small it is, whether you're just going to say, you know what, I'm eating fast food for all 3 of my meals every single day, I'm going to cut it back to 2, even if it's something like that. Or if it's saying, you know what, I drink 0 water right now, I'm going to start drinking at least 2 glasses of water a day. Something like that, like something small, and then building on it. That's what I found in my life to be the most powerful when it comes to building my faith, like my faith in myself, my faith in my ability to actually follow through and to become who God made me to be, or whatever it is that you believe in. What
do you think about faith? Okay, so I love that you just said that. Is faith part of building our faith and deepening our faith is taking action?
Yeah.
But don't you think sometimes it's eliminating distractions so we can focus on the main things and the most important actions instead of getting distracted by the wrong actions and probably taking that too? See, I go off on tangents, guys. I was telling you about this. I started thinking real deep and taking it all at different levels. But what do you think about that? And then I'm going to talk to your beautiful wife.
Yes.
Ask her questions.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit on a really powerful thing, and I think that all of I won't say all of us, I won't blanket us all in there, but I think a lot of us are easily distracted, and I think a lot of us have more distractions in our lives than we're aware of.
Don't you think it destroys some of our faith when we're focusing and get distracted on the wrong things?
Absolutely, because it is a huge energy suck.
Yes.
It's a huge energy suck when we become distracted, especially
to our mind and spirit.
Yeah, it's a huge energy suck to our mind and our spirit when we become distracted. And there are a lot of things competing for our attention. So
yes,
you have to get clear on what it is that either you want to become or what it is that you want to accomplish or what it is that you want to experience.
Clarity is so key.
Clarity is very powerful.
Your why builds your faith, your clarity builds your faith, and your action builds and your focus builds your faith.
Yeah.
Clarity, action, eliminating distraction, and clarity. I just made that up, but it's true, right?
It is true. And I want to say one more thing too. I think that can be really powerful if you are interested in eliminating distraction. For 3 days, write down how you're spending your time, whether it's in 15-minute blocks or whatever. Write down. I do this probably every quarter or so. I do mine in 15-minute blocks. I do time inventory. How am I really using my time? Because, and I tell you every time, I am getting distracted by different things to different levels. And that brings a lot of clarity to go, okay, no social media for me until after this time. Just throwing a random example out.
Because we use social media. It's a powerful tool for us, but it can also be a very powerful distraction as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely.
Well, I love it, Ross. You inspire me, and I know that you've probably inspired many by them listening to this, and some people that are wanting to get healthier and release some 50 extra pounds. If he can release 50 extra pounds, you can release 10 pounds or 20 pounds. It's really about changing your habits, and I'm going to have them back on, but and you guys can learn more about him and fitness and healthier habits. But today was basically about faith, and I'm going to throw this over to his beautiful wife, Bethany Aubrey, and she's just an amazing woman. She's got an interesting story in her faith and her trials and tribulations of, that she was going through, especially when she met you, that she shared with me earlier. I was like, wow, like you had some serious faith to move forward. She had some serious faith to move forward with you. So, and just her own challenges in life and her own coping mechanisms that probably weren't too healthy. And Miss Bethany is beautiful. She's just this amazing, passionate woman, and she's a day trader. And I'm going to introduce her right now and let her say hello. Hello, Bethany.
Hi.